Khan Academy is probably best known for our collection of about 3,000 videos on a range of topics. We're equally excited about our practice exercises and our real-time data reports, and so I wanted to take a few minutes just to explain how our exercises and our real-time data reports work. So we're looking here at the knowledge map, and the knowledge map shows all of our various practice exercises. As of right now, this is March 2012, we have about 300 exercises. All of them are in math, and we're constantly adding more. As you can see here, if you start at the top of the knowledge map, we have addition 1, which is just like 1 plus 1 equals 2, the most basic math. And as we move down the knowledge map, we have fractions and decimals and algebra and geometry, some trigonometry, and even some basic calculus. And the way the knowledge map works is we'll give you lots of different practice problems to do, and you can do as many as you need to do until we feel like you're proficient, until we have pretty high confidence that you know that topic. As you can see here, we've color-coded the different exercises to show the progress that I've made. So if it's blue with a yellow star, it means that I'm proficient. And if it's green, it means it's suggested for me. If it's in orange, it means I need to review it. And if it's in gray with that white star, it means I haven't yet started it. So let's take a look at some exercises. Here's addition 1. You can just click on the exercise and it takes you right there. It gives you a problem, and if you know the answer, you can just enter it in. And if you're right, you get a nice smiley face and some credit up here in the streak bar and some points. But if you don't know the answer, you can actually ask for a hint. And we'll break the problem down for you into some steps. So here we show you the actual count of each number, and you can actually count if you weren't sure how to do the addition yourself. Once you're given the answer, you can then enter it in, and you can keep going like this until we have really high confidence that you know the topic. Let me show you an example of a slightly more complicated type of exercise as well. We have some really interesting intuition exercises. Here's a line graph intuition exercise. So what this does is, as you can see here, there's some points on this graph and there's a line, and you actually adjust the slope and the intercept. So you can change the slope here to try to fit the line. And it starts to give you an intuitive sense of what slope and intercept mean before you actually have learned what that is mathematically. So those are just a couple examples of the practice exercises that we have on our site. After you've been working on Khan Academy for a little while, we'll ask you to review different problems. So if you've gotten proficient in something, we'll have you review it either a day later or a few days later, depending on how quickly you got proficient in it, just so that you don't forget what you already learned. So if you want to do your reviews, you can click here on Attain Mastery, and yeah, I'd like to attain mastery. And it shows me, oh look, I have 49 exercises left. And I have to get one more question right in each of these exercises in order to be done with my reviews. If I don't get that first question right, then I'll have to do a few more in order to get proficiency. So what I can do here is I can just say, okay, I know how to do this, I remember how to do this problem, I enter in the answer, and if I'm right now, I move down to 48 exercises left, now I'm on place value, and I can enter in the answer here, and I can keep going like this. And I can go through and do all of my reviews this way. So now let's say, I've been spending some time on Khan Academy, I've been working hard here, and I want to have a high-level view of how I'm doing and what I've been learning. I can click here on my name and go into my profile and see what kind of progress I've made. So I gave myself a name in my profile, I chose an avatar, and I can actually change my avatar. So when you're just starting out on Khan Academy, you can choose a leaf, any color leaf you want, and as you get more points on Khan Academy, you can choose even more awesome avatars. So right now I'm Old Spice Man, maybe I'll change to be Pants. Great, now I've changed my avatar. I can see how many exercises I've done, how many videos I've watched, how many energy points I have, and these energy points are kind of an extrinsic motivator, a way to get people to be excited about the progress they're making on the site. You can also see my display case here, and this shows off some of the badges that I've gotten. And I can change the badges if I want. Any badge I've earned is eligible to be displayed here. So, I'm showing off that I'm an apprentice arithmetician, but maybe, I'd actually like to show off my going supersonic badge, which means that I've gone really fast on some exercises. So that's great. I can share my profile with the world. Right now it's public, but I can also make it private if I'd prefer, and I'll just leave it public for now. You can also see my recently completed activity. What have I been doing lately? I can click here and see my achievements. Here are all the badges that I've earned. I can check out my goals here. This is a nice new feature that we have. I can create a goal on Khan Academy, and let's say I'll create a custom goal. And let's say I want to work on complex numbers. So here I am, I'm looking at the knowledge map again, and I can actually click here and filter the knowledge map. And I'm going to click in complex numbers. So let's say I'll do the complex plane and absolute value of complex numbers, multiplying complex numbers and dividing complex numbers. And any exercise that I'm not yet proficient in is eligible to be one of my goals. So I'll add those in, and I actually want to watch some videos too to make sure I really understand complex numbers. And those are in algebra, and I'll just jump down to the complex numbers subtopic here in algebra. And here's complex numbers, and I'm going to choose complex numbers 1 and complex numbers 2. And now I have a nice goal here. I'll call it complex numbers. And I can watch these videos and do these exercises, and when I come onto Khan Academy, I'll have a clear focus of where to spend my time. I'll spend my time learning complex numbers, which is my goal. And my coach can actually see my goal as well and can help me figure out how to best spend my time to meet my goal. Also on my profile, I can see my activity. So I can see what I've done lately. In dark blue is the amount of time I've spent on videos, and in light green is the amount of time I've spent on exercises. I can also see a focus graph, which shows how I've spent my time on Khan Academy recently. So on the outside circle, you see the exercises that I've done, and on the inside circle, you see the videos I've done. And you can see I've spent most of my time on Addition 1, making this video, and on line graph intuition on number line 3. And on the inside circle, you can see I've been watching a lot of geometry videos lately. You can also see my exercise progress, and this is kind of a heat map that actually shows all of the various exercises on Khan Academy. And in dark blue, it shows what I'm proficient in, and that's the same color scheme that we have on the knowledge map. In orange, it shows what I need to review. In light blue, it shows things I've started but haven't yet gotten proficient in, and anything that I'm struggling in would be in red. I can also see my progress over time. I can see how much time I've spent on Khan Academy and the number of exercises I've completed over that time period. Let's say that you're a coach and you have a lot of students, a whole class of students, or maybe many classes of students, and you'd like to see all of this data that I just looked at for myself for all of your students. Well, you're in luck. You can also do that on Khan Academy. So we're looking here at real data from a pilot here in the Bay Area, and I hidden the students' names to protect their privacy. But what you can see here is that along here would be all the students' names, and then along the top here are all the various Khan Academy exercises. And I can filter this for certain exercises. So let's just look at systems of equations exercises. You can see all the exercises along the top here, and then I can see all the students' names along the side here. And I can see that several of the students are in review on these exercises. Some of them are proficient. Some of them have just started various exercises. And I can see here that this student is struggling in systems of equations. And let's click here to see exactly what that student is struggling with. Now we see the last 21 problems that the student has done in systems of equations. And any problem the student got right is in blue, and any problem they got wrong is in red. And you can see the amount of time they've spent on each exercise here on the y-axis. If a student took a hint, we have a question mark above the problem, and if a student watched a video, we have a little video symbol here. We can actually click on any problem here and get all the information we ever want to know about how the student did on this problem. So we can go through and see every single step the student took. So the student read the problem, took 518 seconds, put in this answer which was wrong, and then went through and looked at the various hints until the student got the answer. And as a teacher, what's really helpful about this is that you can see exactly what mistakes the student made, exactly what assumptions the student made. And it can help diagnose what's tripping a student up, so when you go to help a student, you have a lot of information about how the student's doing. We also have a progress summary, which is another great report that shows all of the various exercises on Khan Academy and then shows how the class has done on them. So say that you're a teacher and you're teaching systems of equations and you want to know how your students are doing on it. You can actually filter this graph for systems of equations, enter that in here. Now I see all of the exercises on Khan Academy and the class breakdown across each of them. So on systems of equations, I can see that some students are struggling in red, some haven't started, 11 haven't started, some have started, 5 of them are proficient, and 10 are in review. And if I want, I can actually click here, and I've hidden these names for privacy, but I can see exactly which 3 students are struggling, which students haven't started, etc. And I might say, okay, look, 3 students are struggling in systems of equations. Maybe in class today, I'll go work with those students in particular and help them through this. Or maybe better yet, I'll have some of the students who are proficient or who are in review on this exercise go and help their peers. I can also see the daily activity report, which shows what students have been up to on any given day. Let's look at yesterday for this class. You can see the students along the bottom here, and you can see how much time they spent on Khan Academy. It breaks it down into video minutes and exercise minutes. You can also see exercise progress over time. This is the same chart that I looked at before about myself, but for all of the students in a class. You can highlight a specific student or a specific exercise. I can see the class points per minute, and this class isn't in session right now, but if this class were in session, you'd be able to see all of the energy points they're collectively earning minute by minute. And for some classes, this can be a really nice motivator. The class can see, oh wow, collectively we're working so hard, look at all the points we're getting, and sometimes teachers like to project this on the wall in the classroom just to motivate the class to collectively work really hard. You can also see the goals chart. You can see here all of the students in this class who've set goals, and in this class there's just one student who set a goal so far. You can see the various exercises in this student's goal. You can see the ones that the student's proficient in are in dark blue, just like on the knowledge map. Anything they've started is in light blue, and anything unstarted is in gray. And if the student were struggling in anything, that would be in red. Hopefully this helps give you a good overview of the exercises that we have on our site and the real-time data reports that we offer to students and coaches.